Bench Opinions. Three idiots with amateur analysis.
Another week, another podcast, another episode.
Yeah, it's not Friday, but we're going to pretend like it's a Friday.
And it's another episode without Maximilian.
And you and I are dressed in very different attire.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought it was so warm.
It is quite warm. It's 18 degrees.
Okay, in the house, or in the apartment, it's freezing.
I've noticed in recent weeks that I've often been showing people large parts of my upper leg while I sit on this couch. So it's a pleasure.
But I think that way is the safer way.
It depends which side of the spectrum you're on. For me, everything's safe.
Well, it actually depends on which side of the camera.
True, but it's a pleasure to everyone that's enjoyed that.
That's enjoyed the backside of your bum.
When I did the reels, I was making sure that I put the transcript. What's the subtitles? Just right over my cooch.
Jesus, I thought you were going to say you just cropped in so much that you just got cooch.
No. This is not that kind of. That's for my other channel.
The
real moneymaker. Where I use my moneymaker to make money. No, So apologies and a pleasure, depending on which side of that fence you sit.
Nice. I like it. As the man who edits all of these videos,
you do get to see it the most, probably. Yes.
Yes, I see it in high res.
Yeah.
And I see it loud and bold.
The good thing is, you have the option of listening on Spotify, which is also beneficial to us, and then you see nothing.
That's not beneficial. No, you gotta come for the view.
That's true. If you are offended by it, though, don't leave the podcast. Just listen to it on Spotify. Is what I'm trying to say.
True. Dominic, another week. It means more observations.
Yeah, I found this week. I feel like I experienced a lot. First of all, my first observation is that public holidays are nice, but I'd prefer them in less frequent.
What was the public holiday? It was the 80th anniversary of the war ending or something.
Well, of the freedom from National Socialism. That's what it was. So the freedom from the Nazis. And that
had nothing to do with the AfD now getting banned.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
It was ironic, but no. And it was. I think it's only celebrated in Berlin, actually.
I was going to say
because
it wasn't anywhere else.
Berlin a few years ago, the people of Berlin were like, "Listen, this is prejudiced. We don't have enough holidays." So they quickly found a significant day and said, "There you go."
So we've got that and Women's Day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. I do know it's a big thing also in Berlin here to go and polish the stones of the. So if you haven't been to Germany yet, in front of every building where Jewish people were taken in the World War, there's little golden. They called them Stolpersteine. That's a good German word to try and let Stolpersteine. Or if you're from the north, Stolpersteine, if you speak Plattdeutsch. But they're just stones that essentially have the names of the Jewish people that were abducted from there. And I know that's a very cool tradition that people go around and polish them on the 8th of May. Yeah.
Oh, really? I never heard of that before.
It's a big thing. I'd heard of it before. I hadn't heard of it for a while, but then my tax lady actually was like, "No, I can't. I'm busy. I'm going to
go polish some rocks.
I'm going to go polish some golden stones." So that's pretty cool. But coming back to my observation, I like them, but it needs to spread out for various reasons. We all need a break every now and then.
Yeah.
I don't need so many breaks all at once. I remember so many times and this is complaining from dizzy heights. I get this. But I remember so many times the last couple of weeks, like not knowing what day of the week it is.
Right, because there's no
which is like I'm like because I was playing golf on not that changes anyway. I still play golf on Thursdays, but yeah, just definitely if you're gonna give us some, spread it out. Donald Trump actually came out this week because it was Veterans Day as well in the UK.
Okay,
VE Day, and him being him, he came out and he said, "It's fucking unbelievable." He didn't say fucking. He didn't tweet fucking, but he probably meant to say fucking.
Read between the lines.
Yeah, he was like, "It's fucking unbelievable that we won both world wars, and yet we're the only country that don't celebrate Veterans Day. I now declare Veterans Day on the blah blah of whatever month for when we won the First World War for the Allied forces, and the blah blah of November. I think it's the 11th of November for the day we won the Second World War." And I declare them national holidays, but they're not actual like real national holidays because So like you're not getting off because we've always been working people and we still remain working people, but now they're holidays. So enjoy.
So we'll celebrate the fact that we're not getting any leave. Nice.
Yeah. So he's gone half the distance, if we're being honest.
It must eat him up inside that the Germans celebrate essentially the end of the war, but they lost.
Yeah, I think the thing that infuriates him is that we don't like essentially use that day to praise the United States of America.
Yeah, you must be thankful. You must be thankful.
You must be thankful. We've heard that fucking before. Yeah. Anyway, without divulging too politically here, but I was just like, you're, come on now, bro. You like, if you're either gonna give public holidays or you aren't. But yeah, I would prefer them spread out over some time.
What system do you find to be better? The South African system, where if it lands on a weekend, that it gets postponed to a Monday, or you just sort of luck of the draw. Either you get it during the week and you get it off, or it doesn't land in the week and you just don't benefit.
Neither of the two systems I really like. I'll get to my point now.
Okay.
But I think the South African system is just too much. It's too nice.
Yeah.
Like this is not fucking. South Africa already gets away with the symbolic Ke December, where like from the 28th of November, let's be honest, people
Nothing
are like,
happens.
Space bar, bro, I'm out.
Your economy grinds to a halt.
Exactly. So like, I feel like South Africa, out of all the countries, like, dude, if it lands on a Sunday, dude, guess what? It only happens every fucking 7 years, I think, or with the leap year, 8 years, I don't know. But it only happens every so often. I think it's a good hit rate that your public holiday is going to fall on a day that that you're going to be able to use.
Yeah.
The thing I would do is I would say a public holiday always falls within, in the ideal world, a public holiday always falls within a certain calendar week, and in that calendar week is either the Monday or the Friday. That would be my approach.
You want to develop a system where you can really benefit people going on leave.
Well, yes. The thing is, I think it causes less disruption to the running of a company if you don't have weird bridge days like a Friday or a Monday.
Well, let's be honest, nobody does any
where
proper
people
work.
Either take off or they're fucking off.
Yeah.
It's like,
or they're suddenly sick. Yeah.
Or they're sick, or like, or home office, We know some people that do home office. Yeah, which
where's the guy who's not at his place of work right now?
So that would be as a man who believes in the free market and fucking productivity,
money.
Also golf during the week at the same time. I believe that would probably be the best system, to be honest.
But this is the risk that we take as freelancers: is all the risk, or the fun.
That's true.
You can go in Joel, and have your Ke December in Ke July, but then you also don't earn any money.
That's true. You, for instance, had to, because you were in another state. Well, you would have worked anyway, even if it were in Berlin. But you were in Munich last week, so no public holiday there.
No, unfortunately not. Not that it makes a difference, because I never know if it's Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday.
That's true.
But that's irrelevant. Actually, speaking of my trip down to Munich, I went to a solar convention where I'm becoming very with the times and all about securing the energy for Europe because we're being controlled.
Okay.
Did you know this? We're being controlled by Russia, and we've been controlled by...
This is all a fucking simulation, bro.
By China.
I've heard all about it.
Yeah. No, but we must bring back production to Europe. But then you talk to anybody off camera and they're like, not a chance are we bringing production back to Europe. It's too expensive, and the Chinese are so much better at it. So it's very interesting to walk around there, and everybody is like, I would say it's almost cult-like. Like everybody says the same words. Everybody sort of toes along the same line, but it's like everybody is also under the or understands that they're all under the same illusion. It's very, very strange.
I mean, I guess it kind of it's akin to, like, that famous saying is like, how do you know someone's vegan?
They tell you.
They'll fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like that. And people, like vegans, tend to gravitate towards one another.
Yeah.
I don't see vegans in a negative light. You can eat whatever the fuck you want. But
don't tell me.
Yeah. But it is, I mean, it's like, I think it's a like-mindedness. And obviously then if you add to that people are getting they're living off, like they're getting their salaries paid by that industry.
Yeah.
And I think you do have to do a lot of work. Like it feels like a lot of incessant lobbying.
Oh, 100%.
Even on a private, like obviously everything kind of is lobbying at the end of the day if you're trying to push an industry forward. But okay, so you were amongst a lot of people that are trapped in the lie, like us, believing the Earth's round. I mean, it's the same thing.
You say trapped in a lie. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, the thing that I found was the lie was people were saying like we can produce our own solar panels and we can bring production back to Europe and all that sort of stuff. That was the lie. The fact that solar has got a bright future. Hey, how's it?
They got to use that next year. You got to use that.
That one was for you out there.
Securing a bright future for Europe.
Is like I do see absolute value in that.
No, of course.
I can tell you all you need to know about solar. I'm quite well informed.
This might surprise you. I'm fine.
No,
sun shines on a thing, and then it powers the thing, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was quite funny is obviously when you go to these conventions, everybody's handing you free shit, right? The number one thing that you can get at any convention, I would assume, is tote bags.
Yeah, bags.
Easy to make, easy to slap a label on it. They all look the same. And we were walking around with one of my camera operators, one of the freelancers that came with, and he made it his mission to get every free tote bag he could get. And I eventually said to him, I was like, dude, I think you got a bit of a problem. Like, you don't have to have all the stuff. Like, what are you going to do with 16?
He has to have it.
No, bro, this was unreal. I said to him, I was like, what are you going to do with all of that? He's like, no, my girlfriend's going to get some. She loves tote bags. And you should see me when I go shopping. I'm going to carry 8 tote bags at the same time. I was like, lies. At the end, we got a bit drunk because there's a lot of money in solar. So they all throw massive parties and everybody drinks for free. Got a bit drunk and he did admit to me. He's like, no, I'm going to throw these in the bin as soon as I leave. So I was like, why are you taking it then? He's like, no, it's this thing. And like you see it with a lot of people. They have to just, if something's for free, you have to have it. If there's a beer on the table for free, you got to drink it.
That one I can get behind. Tote bag, not so fucking much. If it's a tote bag with the beer in it, also, okay, you can't be in.
Okay, that was maybe a bad example.
It's funny how these, I also feel like tote bags have stood the test of time at conventions because there's always fads as well.
Yeah.
Like I remember obviously pens were like a big thing. Now so little people actually use pens. Right. Like I think it's a fad. Then there was the big USB stick phase. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Where like every company had their little branded USB stick. Me being in music, there was also a time where like people were like, the coolest fucking thing you can do is if you're a musician and you're trying to get out there, is put your demo on like a branded USB stick and give it to someone.
Nice.
Yeah. That's one way to bring down a whole company's fucking IT system because I put my music accidentally as a bridge because I couldn't find my hard drive. I put some really good pornography that has the world's biggest virus on it. And now, yeah. Anyway, I wonder why they didn't sign me. Yeah. But no, just for the record, I never had a branded USB stick, and therefore my analogy does not.
Somebody from Universal's going.
Yeah.
Aha. We've been looking for them all this time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting how these things. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like in a time where also business cards, I'm like, dude, there's better ways of doing that.
Dude, so many business cards, and like I saw Oaks just like dropping their business cards all over the place.
Yeah, it's
You're
just
like that person's never gonna phone back.
Yeah, it's like those dudes that it's like these guys that do these the flyers.
Oh yeah,
I'm just like, my bro.
Yeah,
it's just
tell them to keep it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm fine, bro.
It's like, because I'm literally I'm gonna take it because I feel bad, but now there's a dustbin right next to you. Is it too close?
This might sound snobby, but I also don't. Any event that chooses flyers to market itself, I don't think that's where I can see myself.
What if it's a secret off-the-grid event?
You're not selling it, and even less so. I need fucking that mainstream shit.
Oh man. Okay. Well, to finish my story, this same Oak, who you know, Tim, he was like, man, I've got this van. I like to go to the lake, and he does like, his kite surfing, his windsurfing and wing foiling and all these different things. He's like, I like to go there, but then I capture some footage, and then I kind of want to have a bit of an editing suite in my van, but then I don't have power. If I had a solar panel that would be ideal. I could then charge a battery, and then I could run sort of his editing suite off this charge, right? So I was like, man, I'll go talk to some of these stands and see, if I can maybe swing a deal. Because at the end of the convention, these guys have to ferry all of their crap back to headquarters. Or what they usually do is they just sell it, because they're not going to be able to sell it online because it's been used. So he walks around. There's this Chinese dude who's like, hey, you can buy this solar panel. I'll sell it to you for $40. Online, it's $350. So he's like, there's no way. He double checks. He's like, oh, it's true as nuts. Like, this thing actually costs $350. Buys the thing for $40. Goes to the next stand, and he had already spoken to them before. And they were like, yeah, look, we can sell you this one panel, but, it's going to cost maybe like $120. It was quite a large panel.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually are trying to get rid of it because we don't know how we're going to transport the stuff all back, and it's a bit of a headache. And he's like, well, I've got a van, They're like, really? Well, if you've got a van, do you think you could drive some of our stuff down the road? It's like 5 minutes down the road. He's like, yeah, sure. I can, what?
Jeez, what a nice
what
guy.
am I going to get in return? They're like, oh no, you can then have the panel.
Oh wow.
So he was like, okay. Looks online, it's like 500 euros worth, this panel. And he's like, well, drive the thing 5 minutes down the road. Of course I'll do that. They load all the stuff into the van, and they're like, you know what? You can just have all of it.
What?
So he walks away with like, I think it's 8 or 9 solar panels of like different types, like flexi ones and stiff ones and this, that, the next thing. And he rocks up in Berlin. I had to go pick my gear up because he also transported it back to Berlin. I was like, dude, tell me the story. He's like, oh yeah, this is what happened. I've got all these panels. I said, what are you going to do with all these panels?
Yeah,
like,
that would have been my question.
You're going to coat your entire car in solar panels. What's the gameplay? He says, no, I think I'm going to keep one, and the others I'm going to put in the basement. I was like, there's no sun down there. What do you mean? He's like, yeah, it got me again. I just had to have everything that was for free.
My God. Hey, man, look, first of all, my first reaction is it pays to be a nice person.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm surprised he wasn't turned away and they were like, listen, they hadn't have some sort of code word for the tote bag guy that's coming back like, oh, fuck, he's back. But there you go.
Yeah.
And maybe that's actually a good tactic for conventions. Hang around.
Wait until the end.
Take every tote bag you can get and then try and take more.
Get the biggest van you can find.
Yeah, and just be like, listen, do you need help with that?
Do you need me to transport this for you? And then you just clean up.
That's good shit. I haven't been to a convention in a long time. I feel like I need to just be at one. One that interests me, of course, but just I want to be in and amongst. I think it would be good to just watch people there.
I mean, it's great for networking.
Yeah, there's maybe a solar panel in it for you.
maybe you can charge your house. Anyway, so that's yeah.
So he's got one solar panel that he's going to be able to have his editing suite done, and then the rest is just overkill.
Yeah, something like that. I think there's maybe a couple smaller ones that you'll be able to still utilize, but the big ones, I don't think anything's going to happen with those bad boys.
Oh my God!
Because then you need like industrial converters and all this stuff. It's like it gets a little bit complicated.
I think it gets entry level is quite complicated. I want a thing with a plug at the end of it where I know if I stick something in there, there's going to be power.
Dude, his main mission was, does this have USB-C? And they're like, are you joking? There's like 500 watts that comes out of this thing. How are you going to try
USB-C?
How are you going to use USB-C? It's like, you need to convert this bad boy.
Oh my God.
So
all right.
He's got what he needs, and he's got more than what he needs.
Well, come back for an episode in the future on how his van was completely destroyed by an electrical fire.
Or, yeah, either that or how he solely powers the whole of Berlin.
There you go. Something tells me there's a regulation though in Germany that doesn't let you do that.
100%.
They're like 9.
Ooh. Okay, I need to tell you this story. I know we're running out of time a little bit, but so traveled to Munich, traveled back by train. Obviously, Deutsche Bahn delays, and I have got a theory, and I don't know if it's true, but I think because Deutsche Bahn have got such a bad reputation for all of their delays, that they have now started hiring staff that are more charismatic to sort of soften the blow.
Ooh, risky.
And I say this because the conductor who was speaking over the intercom came online and just started winging it.
Okay.
I don't think he was following any sort of protocol. I think he lost the playbook and he went on a tangent. And he just said, "Ladies and gentlemen, as you will have noticed, we have come to a halt and we're not at a train station. I would therefore like to inform you that this is due to a police incident, and I don't really know how to say this, but I'm going to be frank. There's somebody trying to throw themselves on the track and kill themselves."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty open and honest, but there's also kids on board, which might be a bit hectic. He says, "So we can't find the person. They're somewhere on the tracks, so we've now stopped moving. But we will open the doors on the right-hand side of the train and everybody is free to go for a walk and stretch their legs."
What?
I was like,
There's no fucking way they did that on
the
Deutsche
whole
Bahn.
reason that the train can't move is because people are on the tracks. And so your logic is, let's open the doors and put more people on the tracks.
You see, this is the problem when you ask for things and then you get them and you're like, no. See, this is the kind of the German, the laxness, the looseness, the let's make the best out of a situation kind of Germany that I've long asked for. But it seems like we need to fucking go through the gears there. 1, 2, 3. We can't just go sixth there.
Bro, that's Oak is sitting there in sixth gear with NOS. This is
All right.
unreal. And there were people running around outside, up and down the tracks. I was like, this is...
How long did you have to sit on the tracks for?
Like 40 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad. Like, it's been worse, but I was shocked.
Yeah, that doesn't seem safe at all.
Yeah, so... Yeah, let's see how Deutsche Bahn deals with that. Either this guy has gone off script
Completely rogue.
and just made this shit up.
He's like, I want to be employee of the month, and they said that we should energize others.
Yeah.
That's our new value.
He would come online and he would waffle on for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then he would do the whole thing again in English.
Yeah.
Which was very kind of him to
Yeah, nice.
include all the international passengers. But yes, the whole time I'm taking my headphones out because I think some information is going to be necessary or pertain to me, myself. And then it's just a repetitive. I was like, oh my word. This guy just kept on going on.
And trains, you have to, trains are different to airplanes. Like, airplanes are going to take off and they're going to land when they land. Trains, there's a lot of permutations.
Yeah.
Also, when they arrive on the platform, the map that they have of the train is not necessarily aligned with what's on the carriages. Then you get on a train that splits halfway. If you're not on the wrong fucking side of the train, you could end up in Duisburg, which is a bad place. Nobody wants to go there. So, trains are so you kind of are forced to listen to them because it's kind of the only way that makes sense. Recently, this last little story on this is I got onto a train when I was coming back from Düsseldorf at the end of last year. Or was it? No, it was earlier this year. And I had my headphones on. And I checked the map of the train on the platform. And I kind of got onto the train on the part of the train where I thought it would be. And I kind of looked at the display on the train. I was like, this doesn't make sense. And I heard the conductor on the speaker system as I got on the train, but I had music in. I had a podcast, so I could kind of hear it. And I was like, I'll just carry on walking. I'll eventually get to my cabin. No, what is
Carriage?
it? Carriage, exactly. And I don't find it, and eventually go past the Deutsche Bahn lady with my earphones on, and I take my earphones off and I go, "Excuse me, I'm trying to look for this garage." And she goes, "What? He just told you where to go." And I'm like, thank you. Thank you very much for your fucking kind insights. I didn't hear him, and that's why I'm asking you.
And then she just...
No, she told me reluctantly.
Oh, okay.
Reluctantly.
I was like, yes, that's hectic.
So now you've got fucking Vince Vaughn here going freestyle.
Dude, Vince Vaughn is a brilliant analogy, yes. That's exactly what he was
letting people
like.
walking around tracks, and then you've got the old miserables. Let's see how they integrate.
Unreal. And on that bombshell,
yeah,
I think we end this one. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you enjoyed our stories. Please like and subscribe and check out the videos from earlier on in the week. We spoke about rugby, we spoke about football, and we spoke about all other sports that are
leftovers as well. Yeah,
that are to be spoken about.
there you have it.
Cheers, guys.